All right, we're starting section 3 of financial information. Line 6 says, is the individual or sole proprietorship party to a lawsuit? Does that mean we're suing somebody or somebody's suing us?
Actually, they want to know either way. If
Okay.
you are a party to a lawsuit, whether you are being sued or whether you are suing someone, they want to know that. And if you are, I want you to attach the applicable documentation.
Let's say, for example, I was involved in an automobile accident a couple of months ago, and we're suing for $10,000 of personal injury and $50,000 in medical bills. Why does the IRS want to know about this lawsuit?
Well, because that is money that is coming to you. They may deem that an asset. That might be part of your offer, and that's where an offer becomes a little more complex.
I would list myself as the plaintiff, list the city and county and state, put my attorney's name, the case number, that's the case number on the paperwork the attorney provides me.
Absolutely, and it tells you whether you are a plaintiff or a defendant. It's very clear in your paperwork.
Okay.
It's on the front page, actually.
And the amount of the suit, that's the entire amount of the suit, medical and everything else, right?
Correct.
Possible completion date, and the subject of your suit would be auto accident, something as simple as that?
Correct. And you will find that on your lawsuit paperwork.
Okay, line 7 is bankruptcy. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Let's say that I had filed bankruptcy like 20 years ago and I'd lost all the paperwork. I don't know the petition number. I barely remember the location because it was so long ago. What do I do in that case?
I think that that would be a good place if you don't have any of that information and it's old. Why don't you give us a call? I don't think it's going to be relevant because it is so old, but why don't you call us to make sure on your specific case?
Line number 8, any increase or decrease in income.
I can answer that. That's easy.
Okay.
Okay. What they're looking for is, let's say you make $12 an hour, but you know that you are due for a raise, maybe your annual raise. You know that they promised you $2 an hour raise, and that's coming 2 months from now. They want to know that, and that's very important. That's what we call a special situation, and that increase in income will affect this offer.
Okay, so this is things that I know about, and I have a reasonable expectation.
Correct.
That this increase in my personal income will increase. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Line 9 is the individual or sole proprietorship. Now, sole proprietorship, that is someone who owns their own business, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so we're just talking about individuals now. So is the individual a beneficiary to a trust, estate, or life insurance policy? I don't have any of those, but if you did have trusts or life insurance policies, things like that, it might be another good time to call and get advice. Is that correct?
It is another good time if you don't understand it, but you can also look at your life insurance policy. You can tell what the face value is, and you can also call them and find out what the value in your life insurance is, because that's an asset. Maybe you've only built up $2,000 equity in that policy. Well, that $2,000 is going to add to your offer. That's very important. You know whether you're a beneficiary in a trust or an estate, and if you are, you need to attach that to this offer. That is another document. It's in the document request, and you will need to add that. So you need to answer this truthfully.
Okay, line 10. In the past 10 years, has the individual resided outside of the United States for periods of 6 months or longer? It looks like this is a yes or no and just the dates. Most people probably would check no to this, but if you checked yes, is there anything special you should know?
Well, if you checked yes, number one, you're going to find out how many days you were in and out by your passport. So you need to have your passport handy if this is applicable. If you're not clear about this, and that's something you might want to call in and talk about. It's pretty clear, either yes or no. If the answer is yes, have your passport ready.